The World Heritage Convention invites the states parties to submit to the World Heritage Committee a periodic report on the implementation of the World Heritage Convention, including the state of conservation of all World Heritage properties located on its territory. As the second cycle of periodic reporting now draws to a close, the World Heritage Center has collected some feedback from national focal points in the Europe region, as well as from experts involved in the periodic reporting process and from the advisory bodies to the World Heritage Committee. This allows us to showcase in these videos how key stakeholders view the process, the benefits, but also the future of periodic reporting.
Ça a été l'occasion de chaque acteur impliqué dans la gestion du bien prenne conscience de ses responsabilités, et cette responsabilité a été mise en œuvre dans les réponses qui ont été apportées. À la fois permis de prendre conscience des responsabilités de chacun et de favoriser le dialogue entre tous les services de l'État et puis aussi les gestionnaires, les structures aussi de gestion locale.
It makes the site manager try to look at the management plan in another way, because suddenly they can see the reason why they have this day-to-day management, and they also find out if there are some gaps. They understand the very important issue of protecting the OUV, because that's one of the core questions and issues in this periodic reporting. So I think to them it's been very beneficial, and then afterwards when they want to make a review of the management plan, they are much more aware of where the gaps are and how they should look at this.
The periodic reporting exercise was also an opportunity to get some heritage terms discussed with site managers.
Je pense que l'aspect le plus important du rapport périodique, c'est son effet mobilisateur. Mobilisateur pour les États, bien sûr, les points focaux, mais surtout pour les gestionnaires de sites sur le territoire. Et ça, c'est, je crois, le plus important.
On the national level, of course, it is important because we could make clear to the politicians, to the officials, and even to the authorities that we have the duty to report the conditions for the outstanding universal value and to reflect the conditions of our site. And that is very important to make clear that we have an international obligation.
International cooperation, I think it's one of the very strong benefits, not only of the convention, but of all the activities related to it. It goes rather several ways. One way, of course, is when we have transnational or transboundary properties, where cooperation is by default, so to speak. But even in terms of good practice, exchange of specific knowledge, and exchange of different approaches, I think it's extremely important, not only for us, the focal points, but even more for the practitioners, for the site managers, for all of the stakeholders involved in the management of the World Heritage properties.
So one of the findings was that even the best managed sites do not have really a strong connection to the communities. And this is definitely something that we would like to stress and to improve in the future. So actually it was quite surprising for us, being quite a small country, that we do not have a national policy on conservation and heritage matters.
The awareness about World Heritage at a local level and at the community level, it's almost not existing, and that people are not really taking part in this World Heritage, in the management of the site or the understanding of the site. And I think that's very, very important that we change that. So it's good that we have this fact known now.
Periodic reporting exercise showed very clearly some of the issues that we were aware of even before, because on a daily basis it actually exists. Something that is really, really important, and it's been coming up very often, is that we really need intersectorial approach, that we need very good and strong cooperation also with other sectors, and that we urgently need to bridge this gap between the national and the local level, with working with the local authorities, with the communities.
Pour moi, le rapport périodique, c'est un très bon document de référence pour tous les biens qui n'ont pas encore de plan de gestion, parce que ça oblige à se poser les bonnes questions et en face, quelle action on met en place.
We are trying to organize now the Israel World Heritage Committee in a different way, and we will have specialized professional teams. So the themes for the teams was greatly influenced by the results of the periodic reporting. So we will have a team for inventories and databases, for example, and we will have a team for funding matters. And these specialized teams are the result of periodic reporting results.
On est en période évidemment, comme tout le monde entier, de contexte budgétaire assez contraint, mais là, voilà, quand on se fixe plutôt une priorité en fonction pour chaque bien, si c'est le plan de gestion, et en l'occurrence c'est ça en ce moment, on se mobilise tous, donc ça peut entraîner effectivement des financements.
I think data sets can be used in several ways, but of course we want to be very practical. On the one hand, helping or proving the importance of some of the issues that actually come up in relation to impacts and the measures to be implemented and so on. But financial resources are definitely one of the main group or one of the main field that actually comes up.
And we will, of course, use the needs we identified during the periodic reporting exercise to convince our politicians to launch a new investment program for our World Heritage sites. And of course, it is very important that we could use an international tool to make clear what success we had in the past, but what we have to do in the future.